Hello guys, my name's Aki. Right here is my current desk setup, and as you can see, it's pretty minimal. I've got a 27-inch gaming monitor, pretty generic one from Acer, and my custom built PC sitting on the right on the tabletop. It's a pretty clean setup, mostly because I film a lot of overhead videos here, and I like to keep things simple. But check this out. Underneath the table, I've got this new Alienware 34-inch OLED display gaming monitor. This is a huge upgrade that I wanted for a while. Not only it's bigger, it's also curved, which is awesome for my video editing since I can see more of the timeline. But it's also OLED, so those deep blacks are supposed to be very good. So today we're going to unbox the Alienware monitor. We're going to set it up, and we're going to compare it side by side with my current setup to see if the OLED is really worth the upgrade. So yeah, let's check it out.
Alright, so let's take a look at what's inside of the box. This monitor comes in a huge box, a big, solid box. The delivery guys did a great job, very careful, even hand delivered to me at my door. The packaging is simple and to the point. Inside, you've got all the essential cables such as display ports, HDMI, and a microfiber cloth to keep the OLED screen spotless. Now the stand has a big V shape. It's solid, it's stable, and it reminds me of a boomerang. The stand arm is nice and heavy. The Alienware logo is right here, printed big on the side. The design is sharp, gray straight edges, smooth curves at the right spots. It looks clean and solid. Now the back cover to hide the cable, it's a bit of flimsy. It's not perfect, but it does a job and keep things looking neat from behind. The monitor itself is wrapped safely and tucked on the second layer of the packaging. They've got it secured really well. When you're setting it up, put the stand together first. It makes it a lot easier to handle, and don't try to lift the monitor by itself on the frame. The OLED is very delicate, and you definitely don't want to risk damaging it. And just trust me, it's a smart way to handle the monitor.
Okay, let's pick it up nice and easy. Check this out. We got the Alienware logo at the bottom trim right here, and the back here just looks very sexy.
This monitor is 1440p with a wide 21:9 aspect ratio, which is great for gaming and productivity. I got the black version, but there's also a white one with a slightly different spec. You can adjust the height up and down by 4.3 inches, swivel it by 20 degrees, and tilt it 5 degrees. I love the arm and the base that comes with it. It doesn't bother me that it takes up a little bit more space. The design of the Alienware 34-inch monitor is just fantastic. It's sleek, futuristic, kind of like a spaceship, but not over the top. I've always loved their design, just never liked the price. But I finally grabbed this one at a discount.
Okay, so we have everything plugged in, including the back cover. Now let's come to the front and check this out. Whew. Two monitors side by side, Alienware and a generic Acer. Right off the bat, this one looks a lot brighter than my old one. I'm definitely noticing the difference in terms of the brightness. If we get a little closer, I don't know if you can see the individual pixel. I don't think so, actually. I'm like about a foot away from the monitor, and it's really hard for me to tell. It's a lot of clarity, a lot of resolution coming up from this monitor. Okay, so now it's time for us to boot up some of my favorite video games, and let's see how that OLED looks in action. Okay, so I have Cyberpunk 2077 running right now. And right off the bat, I can definitely tell that the darker area, if you look at the shadow of the gun, compare side by side, The OLED display definitely handles the blackness like beautifully. This looks very, very dark compared to a non-OLED display. It's almost grayish. Let's walk around. Sorry, I'm just playing with one hand right now. My other hand is holding the camera. You see how this is like pitch dark, especially at the frame, the frame border. Whereas a non-OLED display has that misty, foggy kind of atmosphere to it. I want to say I enjoy the higher contrast from the OLED panel a lot more. So I tested the OLED Alienware monitor alongside my Acer IPS monitor while playing one of my favorite games, Cyberpunk 2077, which has this super vibrant, colorful world. And let me tell you, I was blown away by how much of a difference the OLED makes. The biggest difference I noticed was the blackness level. With Alienware's Quantum Dot OLED, each pixel can be dimmed individually, which gives the image way more contrast and a higher dynamic range. You can really see the difference when you compare the black areas in the game side by side. On the OLED, it's totally black, whereas on the IPS, it looks kind of grayish. The most obvious example is the black bar on the side of the screen. On the OLED, it's as black as the bezel itself, and I really love that. Okay, so this gotta be my favorite way to use the Alienware 34 OLED monitor so far, is to play some Black Ops Cold War Zombie. Just love the map. A lot of shadow, a lot of dynamic lighting. Everything just looks very cinematic. Some dark area, but you also get the ambient light, the glow from the fire. Man, it just looks so good. In the menu here, we have a option called Alien Vision. So what it is normally it's off, but if you select to turn it on, there are a couple modes you can choose. One is night mode. As you can see, there's a rectangle box in the center here. I think what it does is if you're in a dark map, that's supposed to brighten it up a little bit. Next option, clear. It increases sharpness of it, so you can see things more clearly with chroma. So it's supposed to be more like a thermal vision, that you could spot enemy more easily. But honestly, it doesn't really work that well. As you can see, I'm looking at enemy right now. It just kind of blends in with the environment. And then we have a crosshair. So for when you're playing hardcore mode, you know exactly where you're aiming. This could be useful if you're playing games like Counter-Strike. The monitor also feels brighter. It's rated at 1000 nits. Personally, I don't love having my screen too bright because it tends to strain my eyes, but I'm still glad to have it. One smaller upgrade from my old setup is the refresh rates of the screen. I went from 144Hz to 165Hz, which isn't a huge difference, but I'm totally fine with that. I don't think I could ever go back to 60Hz after using higher refresh rates though, if anyone can relate to that. And the response time is 0.1 millisecond, which is perfect for me because I play a lot of competitive online first-person shooters like Counter-Strike. Alright, so here's how I like the Alienware Curve QD-OLED 34-inch gaming monitor. Let's start with the size. Coming from a 27-inch monitor, the 34-inch is a huge upgrade. More screen real estate means more room for everything. 2 tabs side by side. My Premiere editing timeline just got wider and my workflow got better. And when I'm gaming, the extra space and the curve makes it way more immersive. It just kind of pulls you in. Now the OLED, this is where it gets really exciting. I used to think that OLED was just some marketing gimmick, but I was wrong. The colors, the contrast, the blacks, it's incredible. The black level are like nothing I've seen before. You can actually see the difference side by side with an IPS monitor. OLED blacks are truly black, while the IPS just look grayish. It's honestly one of the biggest upgrades I've made to my PC
right after upgrading my graphics card. My whole setup feels like it's another level now. The design of this Alienware monitor is another win. It's sleek and futuristic without being over the top. The curves, the sharp edges, the fonts on the logo, it's all so well done. The attention to detail makes it look like a premium product, and honestly, it even makes me want to game more. As an adult, I've lost a little interest in gaming, but this monitor has brought it all back. It feels like a whole new experience. People talk about OLED burn-in, and sure, I'm aware of it. But with the factory warranty, I'm covered for 3 to 5 years. I'm not one to worry about that stuff. If something happens, it happens. I'm not going to stress over a dent on my iPhone or burning on a screen. One small thing to note, this monitor doesn't have a built-in speakers. But that's not a big deal. You just have to use a headphones or a external speaker. And the price? Yeah, it's a little bit high, but feel free to check out the description box below to see if they're currently running a discount on the monitor. So drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm also planning a desk setup video very soon, where I'll be showing you all the changes I've made to my space for gaming, productivity, and 3D printing. It's coming soon, so stay tuned, and I hope to see you in the future videos.